It's Evelyn from Magellan College Counseling, and I'm back to talk to you about the testing section of the Common Application. So let's get in here. And I'm here on my dashboard. Remember this left chunk over here is where we do the navigating, and this middle panel is kind of the working panel. So I'm going to click on the My Common Application, and then I'm going to click on the testing section. This is kind of a pretty simple section, is the truth. And part of the reason is, let me click right into it. So, and let me clear out my answers to show you how it works. So there's really only two questions in this section, but then another question will pop up if we say yes to this first one. So the first question basically says, do you wish to self-report scores that you already have or future test dates? And the reason that they ask that is if you, as you're going into your senior year, you probably have some AP or IB courses that you're planning on taking senior year, and you know that you'll be taking AP or IB exams in the future, in the May of your senior year. So you can report tests that you haven't taken yet, if you are planning on reporting your AP and or IB scores. If you have not taken AP or IBs, if you have not taken the SAT or ACT, it's really easy. You're just going to say no to this question. And I'm sure you know many colleges these days are not requiring test scores of any kind. Now, some are. And what I like to tell my students is you are going to make a school by school decision about whether or not you're going to submit test scores. So, and when I say test scores, I mean SAT or ACT. So I personally like not reporting my SAT or ACT in the Common App unless the score is so high that you are literally going to submit that score to every college you apply to. If that's the case, then you want to say yes. And then it's going to ask you, okay, great, which test? So let's say I took an ACT that I'm going to report. Okay, cool, because it's super high. But for most students, you are probably not going to report your test scores to every single college, which means you just say no here. If you are going to report, though, you tell it, okay, I'll submit my SAT or my ACT. I definitely want to submit my AP exams. And when I don't know if you've been looking over here at the left side, but as I've been answering these questions, more little segments have been popping up. So every time you tell it you want to report something, another requirement pops up. If you say you want to report scores, it's going to give you a place to do that. Most of you who are US based are going to say no to this question. You're not an international applicant. So I'm going to hit continue. And I have a green check for this first test taken section, but now I told it that I wanted to report an ACT score. So how many ACT scores do you want to report? And it specifies past ACT scores. It is also going to ask you, are you planning on taking it in the future? Right? So this is honestly where I like to tell my students, let's wait until we really have all of our scores back. You don't have to fill this out months in advance. Wait until you have all your scores back. You've taken all the sittings you want to take. And then let's enter everything we want to enter. The ACT is kind of funny because it's got an optional writing section. It's got an optional science section now. So you really need to know the rules for the colleges that you are applying to. Do they require the science section? Or even if they don't require it, if you took it, do they require you to report it? So this section is, simple, but once you get into it, there's a lot of little sort of complicating factors. Now, the way that the Common App works, it wants you to report your highest score on each section. This is true for SAT also. So what was your highest composite score? What date did you get that score? Same with all those sections. What was your highest math? Even if it was on a different date, what date did you get that high score? Again, same if you want to report your SAT, it'll ask you what was your highest English reading, writing, and what was your highest math, and what date did you get that on? So technically the Common App helps you super score, but there are some colleges that will ask you to submit all of your scores from certain dates. So just want to prepare you for that. Okay, so once we get through that, and I'm not going to get a green check because I didn't report scores. Once we get through that, we get to the AP section, and you may or may not be filling this out, but if you want to report AP scores, hey, stop. I always have a barking dog in my office. If you want to report AP scores, they want to know how many, and again, including tests you expect to take. So it is totally okay for you to report the 4 that you took in 10th and 11th grade, but also the 4 that you're taking senior year. And the easy way to do that is they want to know what date you took it or you're planning on taking it. So if you took it in, the May of your junior year, you would put that date and the subject, and this pull down menu has all of the AP exams that are available. Holy cow, look how many AP exams there are. And then what score you got. And you could see that there's no asterisk next to score because if you're reporting a future exam, obviously you don't have a score, and that's totally fine. And so they're perfectly happy for you to report a score that hasn't happened yet. So that's how you get through the testing section. Again, it's pretty simple, but it's very individualized. So it really depends on what is right for you. And just like everything else with the Common App, I just want you to read every question as you're answering it and pick the answer that is right for you. So hope this is helpful, and we'll be back in a minute with the next section.